Hi, Matt with eTrailer. If you have a 2020 Ford F-150 and you're looking for a more premium style bike rack that can hold a variety of different types, and you're looking for something that's going to be very compact on the back of your truck, then the Kuat Piston SR bike rack is going to be a great option for you. So let's check it out. And this is going to be a rack that you can pretty much just leave back here full time. The reason why I say that is it's not going to take up much space. And if you're the only one riding, then you only need one tray. And really that's what this is going to be for. It's just one bike if you are constantly going outside and you don't want to take this on and off your vehicle. Now this is sitting back here really nicely too. If we check out how our handlebars are sitting, there will be a couple more factors that contribute to this. One of them is going to be the size of your bike. We do have an extra large mountain bike with 15-inch handlebars, and we are well above our tailgate. Now something else to consider is if you have anything on the back of your vehicle, like a camper shell. Now if I were to shake this, to kind of simulate if you're on some really bumpy roads, I'm shaking this pretty hard, and we still got maybe an inch or two of space in between, so you're probably not going to make contact with anything back here anyway. This rack is also going to have a weight capacity of 100 pounds. So that's pretty beefy compared to a lot of other racks out there. And the reason why it can carry heavy e-bikes of that weight is because we don't have any pivot points on this. Really, this is going to be the only position it has. So if we want to open up our tailgate, I want to remove my bike. And to do that, all I simply have to do is come over to these pistons. We're going to have these large buttons. Press down on that. That's going to click and release, and then you can just push this away from your tire. Now if that's not far enough for you, you can actually press this again and push it down more. I find it better just to press down and push at the same time. Makes it a bit easier. We do the same thing on the front side. And what's great about this dual arm design is this is going to be perfect if you have any bikes that are more frame sensitive. So if you have any carbon frame or any bikes with a really nice paint job or an alternative frame bike, it'll work perfectly for those conditions. And we can just take it off and then take it out for a ride. With your bike off, just make sure you put everything back up. So I'm going to come over here and lift up on here, and you'll notice it's going to stop. So what you're going to have to do is just press down on that button again, and this will allow you to push it up all the way, and it's going to ratchet down. You'll also notice over here we're going to have this integrated bike cable lock. That's going to give your bike extra security so no one can come by and take your bike, especially if you want to leave this back here full time. And with it in this position, we're going to have one more thing to do. We're going to have these little hooks that you're going to grab and hold this down. I like that because sometimes with some of these racks, those pistons or those pivoting mechanisms can kind of wear out, and those arms will sit up a little bit higher. That hook is just going to make sure it stays low. That's perfect because that's going to allow me to open up my tailgate. First, let me open up my camper shell. And with this opened up, we can actually get full tailgate access. That's pretty unique with this rack. There's really not too many racks out there that have this capability, or not too many that I've seen at least. And we're actually going to have about 4 or 5 inches of space to spare. So even if you do have anything pretty heavy up here that drops and pushes this tailgate down, it won't make contact. But let's get a few measurements just to see how this is going to sit back here. So the first measurement I'm going to get is going to be our ground clearance. So going to the furthest point out to the ground, we're going to be sitting at about 19 inches. So that's going to be plenty of room so you're not going to make contact with anything, especially if you're going up any steep hills. And then for the total distance out it's going to sit, let me hook that back down. This is going to be sitting at just a little bit under 14 inches, which if you compare that to a lot of other 2-bike racks that are in the folded up position, it's going to be pretty comparable to that. That actually leads me into my next thing I want to talk about, and that's going to be how it interacts with the back of our F-150. And right now this is working great. The reason why I say that is we're not blocking anything back here. The biggest thing that most racks block is going to be your license plate. The reason this isn't is because we're not folding it up anyway. It's just staying low and flat. So even if someone's behind you, they'll be able to see it. And the way this is going to install is we're going to have this 2-inch shank that goes into your 2-inch hitch receiver. We'll then have a pin that goes through and connects to a lock core on the other side. This lock core is going to use the same key system as your integrated bike cable lock. It's going to be extra security. You'll notice when we go to shake this really isn't moving at all. The reason being is we actually have a anti-rattle device on the very back of our carrier. Now, something I don't like about this isn't integrated. It's going to be something that you're going to need a tool for, but Kuat actually provides you that tool. It's just going to be an Allen key that tightens this down, but it's going to be a security Allen key so no one can come by with a random one and undo this. In my opinion, I think this is going to be one of my top choices for really any truck in general, just because how low this sits and how close to your vehicle it's going to be. But really, this is going to be something for more those people just riding by themselves. If you want to ride with a friend, then there's a lot of other options out there. A couple being either the Kuat Piston Pro, that's nice. Now the one downside to that is it's going to sit out a little bit further. And another great option to really think about would be the Rocky Mounts Afterparty. If you really do like this style of the dual arms, that's really great, especially since it will have the ability to swing out. So even if your bikes are sitting on there full time, you'll be able to access your tailgate. But if you need a closer look at some better options for the Ford F-150, we actually have a best of video where I talk about which one's going to be the best one for you. But either way you go, they're all going to be great options. But this was just a look at the Kuat Piston SR bike rack on the back of our 2020 Ford F-150. I'm Matt. Thanks for watching.